Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, guys? Sergeant Moose here, back with another The Texas Chain Saw Massacre video. And guys, we are exactly 11 days away from release. We're on the home stretch, less than 2 weeks away from the release of The Texas Chain Saw Massacre. And guys, I've been scouring the internet, looking for some last-minute details of what we can expect in the Texas Chain Saw Massacre game, regarding the game's future, regarding how things are going to pan out over time. I've compiled a little list of some Q&As that Gun Interactive did regarding the future of the game. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So guys, these are just a few of the questions that fans normally have upon the release of pretty much any video game, especially of this genre, that tie into like the quality of life and replayability of the game. So normally when we think about multiplayer game that we're interested in, we have questions about the game's future. Most notably, what the game's plans are for the future and how they intend to keep the game interesting for a long run. Whether this means, DLCs, battle passes, roadmaps, things of that nature. Let's be honest, guys, most folks today are interested in what the game's future is going to look like before the game is even released. So the team behind Gun, they answer these questions transparently, and this is exactly what we can expect. So let's start with the always controversial topic, guys, the Battle Pass. Many games today use their primary method of monetization and funding for the games in the form of a Battle Pass, which is basically just introducing a monetized system of challenges over a course of time, which you can unlock items, you can unlock like cosmetics, in-game goodies as you progress through the pass. Now, when asked if Texas Chain Saw Massacre would be implementing a Battle Pass, this was their answer. We've discussed this internally. There's pros and cons to that model. As of right now, we're looking at a more traditional DLC plan without a pass. So there you have it, guys. As of right now, it looks like there are no plans to implement a Battle Pass into the Texas Chain Saw Massacre game. Of course, we don't know if that's going to be for the future or not, but as of right now, no Battle Pass. They're going to be doing the more old school traditional DLC method, where whether it's a course of a few months or whatever, for DLC, they'll release a DLC pack, pretty much like Friday the 13th. If you played that game, this is going to be pretty much similar in terms of how content's going to be released. Now, over the past few years, guys, I've been pretty much like a connoisseur, if you will, of asymmetrical horror games. And I've seen this question float around upon release of pretty much every single one of them I've played. And it is, will there be an offline mode with bots? So, basically, you just simply play solo with bots offline. You don't play against any real players, as opposed to, playing against, the human family side or the human victim side. You're just going to be playing against bots at your own pace, at your own leisure. I've seen this in games like Predator Hunting Grounds, Friday the 13th, even Evil Dead the game had a solo mode with bots. Now, some games do decide against this and keep their vision for multiplayer simply online, and this does appear to be the direction that Gun is going to be going with this game. So they did say that the team had learned from their experience developing Friday the 13th, the game, that implementing bots could be incredibly time-consuming and difficult to do well. The primary goal with this game is to push the asymmetrical horror genre forward as much as possible, and they felt that having to implement effective AI bots would have disrupted the pursuit of this goal. So essentially, guys, in these games that I have seen, these offline bots, Gun Interactive does have a point there. These bots are difficult to make seem realistic, and over time that can cause it to get stale and boring pretty quickly because the bots just aren't, I don't know what the word is, smart enough. But yes, for this game, simply put, there will be no offline mode with bots, simply online only multiplayer. Now, guys, this next question is a pretty big question. It's also one that I had as well. Now, you see this with every multiplayer game that comes out that intends to have a future, and that is, will there be a roadmap? Now, most folks like the idea of a roadmap because it gives them a rough idea of what to expect about the game's future and the time frame of when they can expect content to be released. Now, when asked about this, Gun responded, "We will not be providing a roadmap, but we're always thinking about what that first year will look like. We want to provide as much content as possible, but the success of the game will dictate what the first 12 to 18 months of the game's life will be like for new content." So, it does look like this is going to be a wait-and-see type thing with this game for a roadmap at least, guys. Now, there will be content planned throughout the year, of course, that they're going to be releasing. However, there's not going to be any type of time frame. in the form of a roadmap. Now, it is important to understand that these games, we're obviously hoping it's going to succeed. It's going to do very, very well and have years and years of content. But in the realistic way of looking at things, if that does not happen, if this game, drastically fails, which I highly doubt it will, it's only normal to know that, content will not continue. So they're being realistic. They're being transparent about this. They're going to see what the first year and a half looks like of the game's lifespan. If it's still popular, if there's still a ton of people playing, then they'll keep making content and possibly roadmaps for the game. But as of right now, it's kind of just a wait and see type basis. But we're going to get content throughout the year, just no roadmap for it. Now, guys, this one is one that I was really, really excited about. So we know, most of us know, that Gun Interactive only has the rights to the 1974 film. So if you're looking to play this game and you're looking to see the prequels, the requels, the new Netflix Texas Chain Saw Massacre characters in this game, it's probably not going to happen, or at least not for a very long time. And that is because Gun does not own the rights to those IPs. They only own the rights to the very first Texas Chain Saw Massacre game. So with that said, you can kind of take a look at that film and be like, okay, well, there's only a certain amount of characters that we could actually get from that film in the game. So what does this mean for content? So again, it is important to know, guys, that Gun Interactive is working with Kim Henkel, who is the co-creator and the owner of the 1974 film. Kim has a deep archive of characters, locations, and lore that they can build new content from. So if you look at Johnny and Sissy, for example, they were not in the film, but they are one of Kim's created characters in his archives that they could introduce into the game and obviously the canonical lore. So with that said, guys, this opens up endless possibilities of new content coming to this game, as long as, they keep pushing out Kim Henkel's content. Now, we're going to see a lot of original characters or, newly created characters that we haven't heard of before, but it's new content nonetheless, and it will be canonized because it is a co-creator of the film. Honestly, guys, I don't know how you feel about that, but I am super excited about that. I love when video games introduce new canonical lore and characters into the franchise. I've seen it with games in the past, and I love how games can kind of implement that themselves, and it looks like that's the direction that the Texas Chain Saw Massacre is going to be going. Alright, guys, and I think we saved the best one for last, man. We're always suckers for Easter eggs in these multiplayer games. We're always looking for stuff around the maps that we can kind of look and be like, hey, dude, that was from the movie, man. Check this out. This is so cool. We could share it with our friends. Different things like that, especially games that are under a licensed IP like the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. So it's fun to go and explore the little nooks and crannies, every edge of the map to find hidden pieces of lore, and it makes us hungry to find even more. So when asked about this, Gun responded, "We're horror nerds and obsessive about details. So yes, if you look around while also trying not to die, you'll find loads of Easter eggs throughout each level." They mentioned they won't be commenting on super Easter eggs. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm definitely intrigued to find out. So if you're one of those guys that like to kind of go around, explore the maps, look at every edge and every little nook and cranny and find these things, this is going to be the game for you, of course. So I'm definitely excited about that. I know I am that type of person, so that's going to probably be one of the first things I'll be doing in the game. But, ladies and gentlemen, those were 5, I guess you would say, burning questions regarding the release of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. We kind of have an idea now on a roadmap, battle pass, things like that. Battle Pass will not be coming to the game. Roadmap, as of right now, will not be coming to the game. They'll be releasing content in forms of DLCs, and there will be no offline player mode with bots. So with that said, guys, I'm going to leave it right here, man. We're 11 days out from the release of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. Keep it right here on the channel. If you guys haven't already, feel free to drop a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. We have tons and tons of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre coverage coming here on the channel, of course, with streams when the game's released. I can't wait to see you guys then. My name's Sergeant Moose. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.